a podcast about nothing.
Did you grow up in a fully conscious household?
I think by default, it turned out to be a conscious household, but I don't think it was intentional. And the ways that it was in default was that I did grow up with parents who were very connected to me and very connected to my essence. However, it was default because had it been more intentional, I have to find fault, then perhaps my parents would have understood that the culture I was growing up in, which is India, I grew up in India, was extremely detrimental to the soul of any child. Why? Because the Indian culture and many cultures, including the one that is a smorgasbord here in America, they're really dictatorships in some sort of way because they mandate some prescribed perfect ways to be. And they pass that down to children. And in those unknowing ways, the culture robs the child of inner connection. So in my case, my parents didn't understand fully the insidious power of cultures that mandate children to be a particular way. So without their realizing it, they subscribed to that culture. And I indoctrinated those messages. But this is universal. It just was more obvious in India because it's so obviously patriarchal and hierarchical, but it's happening everywhere, which is why kids in America are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder to 30%. One in every 3 to 5 children, sometimes 50%, are diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. So this cultural indoctrination that parents subscribe to is then passed down to children. And this indoctrination of that there's one way to be successful, happy, loving, beautiful, really erodes at the child's soul and then causes the child to grow up with this unabating sense of unworthiness. So this book, Superpowered, is really teaching parents and children that they don't have to subscribe anymore. And there's a reason you're anxious. And the reason you're anxious is because you've been disconnected to your true voice.